Hi, my creative ones. Today we are going to take a walk through the door that we created last week. So first, I want to say thanks for your comments about last week's video, and hopefully you were able to create your doorway that we're going to crack open today in our art journal. So first, let's just take a few deep breaths and get ourselves centered, and then we'll go on with our collage, mixed media collage for today, okay? If you'd like to, you can close your eyes and put your feet firmly on the ground, sit up straight, and I usually put my hands on my lap, on my knees, and take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your nose, okay, and you should feel firmly planted in your chair with your feet firmly planted on the floor. Feel the energy coming down through the top of your head, through your spine, down your legs, into your feet, and reaching deep down into Mother Earth, connecting you firmly in place in the present. And we're going to go for a walk through our doorway. So, my door is in a garden wall. I don't know where your door is, but it could open up to another room. It could open up looking out over the sea. It could open up into a courtyard. So whatever you see when you walk through your door is going to be your creation. I read an article this morning about art as a meditation, and indeed, for me, that's exactly how I view my art. It's very healing, it's very comforting, it's very intentional. Even though a lot of it is done through my intuition, still my intent is there behind every piece of artwork. So the first thing I need to do is decide what's in my garden. Is it springtime, where the flowers are starting to bloom, there are no weeds, and I'm ready to fertilize the garden and maybe look and see what might be hidden in there? Is it summertime, where your garden is in full bloom and you're ready to walk through and pick a beautiful bouquet for the day? Or maybe it's autumn, where the seed pods have appeared in the garden and you're gathering things to make a potpourri, or just gathering things to make a wreath. Or maybe it's winter and your garden lies fallow and you're walking in and planning what you're going to plant for next summer and spring, when your garden comes to life again. So the first thing I'm going to do is look through some magazines and choose some images that I feel would look or appear in my garden. And I have a feeling there may be some animals, some spirit animals in there that are ready to guide me through my garden. There may be some hidden things that maybe I've forgotten about. There might be a little girl in there for me to play with and hold tightly. I'm not sure. But as I go through the magazines, my stream of consciousness is always with me, and it will choose the images that I want to appear in my garden. For those of you who are new to my channel, we're doing an art journal this year called Cracking Open, and we're opening ourselves up to the mystery, the magic, and the alchemy of our inner selves, and how to express that our true self, our emotions, and everything else that we hold and have within us in our art journal. You know, sometimes it's easier to do artwork than it is to speak. And I think that, and I believe that artwork is our universal language that we can speak to each other through. And we can speak for ourselves through the artwork as well. So I'm going to turn the camera around, welcome everybody, and we're going to start on today's collage. Be back in a minute. Okay, if you remember last week's mixed media collage, we created our wall that we saw in meditation, and then we put a door in the wall, and that is exactly what we are going to crack open today and see what is on the other side. So I'm going to turn my page. I'm going to go through some magazines and see if there's anything in here that I would like to see in my garden. Okay, I have some, so far I found an owl, but I've brought out some books that I've gotten recently. I found a bird book. These I've had for a long time. Perennial book. Bulbs, herbs, and landscaping. So let's look through these and see what else we can find for my garden. Okay, I found a few flowers that I want to fussy cut. And my garden is a springtime garden where naturally, and I know I've talked to you before about my Persephone, who is alive and well this time of year, waiting for spring to emerge. And Okay, I've got a kind of a basic layout here started for my garden, and you can see I'm doing an abstract to get the feel of what my garden feels like as well as looks like. And I have some leftovers from my Pretty in Pink collage kit that I think I might also use. And it's on my Etsy site, which is linked below. I love lilies. Unfortunately, I'm allergic to these, and I love them. They're like one of my favorite flowers. And what else do I think? I have a pile of magazine pages that I pulled that I just wanted to keep and look through. So let's go through these and see if there's anything that I might want to use in my garden. Okay, as you can see, my garden is a little cluttered, and I found things that appealed to me as I was looking through my piles of magazine pages and my old collage pages that I have made and are up in my Etsy shop. But they just seem to work for me in my garden, things that I would find. And I think I'm going to start, and I'm going to glue these down now, and then we can start adding some mixed media to our collage. I really like the way this chair, this old Adirondack chair, is sitting here on this side, and it kind of balances out the emptiness over here in this side. I have these little kind of fairy figures down here dancing on the flower. Naturally, being a Scorpio, I need a skull in here, and the old books, and there's a brain down here that I might tuck under here so that it's kind of hidden, because it blends into this pink flower over here. And my number 5, which is almost always present, I like it, and I can't wait to add some more to it. Now I'm going to use my gel medium to start gluing this down, and I'm doing that because I'm probably going to be using some water media on top of this. So did you like going through a lot of my magazine pages? I keep I can't keep everything, but I keep an awful lot of magazine pages, and I not only clip pages that are images, I also clip for colors and for textures. Like this page really informed what I was doing in this collage, and I may indeed include pieces of this in the background when I get started. I have really neglected my brushes here, I hate to say. I haven't washed them out in a couple days, so let's see if we can get them working again. Let's see what this one is. Okay. This one's much better. It's acrylic. Okay, I'm going to start gluing these pieces down. And I did not cover the background in clear gesso because I'm going to put a coat of clear gesso over my entire area here, the entire piece, once I get everything glued down, so that I won't have any problems with these picking up, and also the water media just sinking into the paper here. So I'm just gonna go around, and I'll put some music on and speed this up for you guys. Okay. I have my collage done, and it's relatively dry. And I'm just going to trim these pieces that are hanging over the edges of my paper. They tend to distract me, to tell you the truth. So stand up here. Okay. Wow. I really like that. I think I'm just going to sit this right up in front of me for inspiration, to keep my colors light and bright. And now I need to work on my background, and also I need to get rid of this area down here. So I've got my antique white that we used in our background the other day, and I think I'm just going to go in with this and just work on getting rid of this type right here. And I'm just going to go in with my fingers. And I don't need to get rid of all of it, but I don't want it to be readable, so. Working with the grain of the wood. I think I'm going to cover everything with my clear gesso because I want to work with some acrylic paint. So let's go ahead. Whew, that was a lot. And cover everything with clear gesso. And this will help too. Anything that isn't totally glued down, this should take care of that. Okay, this is all dry, And I'm going to try something that I haven't tried before. And hopefully it'll work out. If not, I can cover it over. But I have some water-soluble pencils. These are Derwent Inktense pencils. And I also have my Tim Holtz Distress crayons. And I have my woodies that are activated by water. And what I'm going to do is I want to write in the background and maybe over some of my imaging what feeling I have when I walk into my garden. Now, the you that is going to walk into your garden is your deepest self. And you might want to just sit quietly for a while before you start writing. And then just like stream of conscious, we're going to write across our collage. And I'm going to start with blue up here at the top. And I'm just going to start writing. And I'm going to write stream of consciously. That's a word. And just talk about me, who I am in the deepest part of me, and see what happens. Okay, so grab anything that's water soluble, pencil or pen. Let's see if this works out. I'm not really sure if it's going to, but let's see. Okay, let's see what happens when I'm not sure what's going to happen. So this will be interesting. First, I'm going to find a baby wipe. I'm going to spray some water up here. Top. To activate this pencil. And I've got all my energy now on this page. Wow. I'm going to go in and pick up on the artwork where I don't want the tint. Let's see if we tilt this up a little bit. See what happens. And let it run. Oh. here at the top. I hope you can see this. I like that. Okay, I really love areas of this. Others I think are a little bit too bare. So I'm going to look at my napkin collection here and see what I can come up with. I'll be right back. Number of really pretty napkins that I think will work and finish this off. I have this one. I think the colors are beautiful on that. I have this one, which brings out the yellows too. And I have this one, that really is full of beauty. Look at that. Oh, that came apart easy. I think this one might be a little bit too busy and more autumny than I want. And I think I'm going to use a combination of these two. Let's go ahead and take this apart. One more layer on here. Look how pretty that is. I'm going to take some water and go around where my collage is this would have been easier if I had done it first rather than now, but that's okay. Let's try this and see what happens. I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use the gesso because it's a lot more liquid, a lot creamier. I took a little break, and after my camera stopped videoing because it had run out of battery. So let's go ahead and finish putting our napkin on. And I love the way this side has turned out. I think it's just so pretty. And let's go ahead and do this side. Now I'm wondering if I want to go back in and knock back some of this, but I just love it so much that I don't want to blot it out. And I love how the background colors are coming through, and I even can see the remnants of some of my writing in the background. So I think what I'm going to do is go in with my Stabilo pencil, and I'm going to add some shadowing around my collaged images, and let's see if that will make them pop enough from the background so that I don't have to go back in. See what happens with this. I went around and shaded behind all of the collage pieces to bring them forward instead of knocking back the background, because I just love the illustrations on this particular napkin and the way it flowed with our collage. Okay, the last thing, or probably the next to the last thing that I'm gonna do is go in and add some highlights in here. And I'm gonna try a couple different things. And number one, I'm gonna use some white pens. Now this one's a paint marker, and I've just gotten these. They're from Mach 6, and I really do believe them when they say it marks on everything. And I'm just gonna go around and I'm just gonna kind of make some squiggly outlines. I don't want a whole lot of control here. So I'm kind of holding the pen upright and going around my pieces. And this is basically just to help unify all the pieces that I used in my collage. And then I like to go over it a second time and kind of crisscross the lines. You don't want to write right over top of the line that you did the first time, but kind of squiggle over the top of it. Get everything? Nope, down here in this corner. Alright, and I might want to go in and just add some little touches of white, just to highlight some areas. Not a lot, just here and there. I like to work with dots. I'm not sure why. I think it's because they're like little tiny circles. And I'll put a little bit more of a glint in our owl's eye. And sometimes what I do is choose a color, and in these little white areas that I did around my collage, I'll go in the little spaces created with, I just use one color. In this instance, I'm using green, and it just helps these areas stand out just a little bit more. You don't have to be precious about it. You're just adding a little bit more color, going around your collage. And you don't have to do every one either. And if you want to go in and add some extra color to brighten up your images, you can do that. All right. Now, the last thing that I want to do is go in and darken my outside edges like we did on here. At first, I'm going to get rid of this napkin-y edge. Another way you can do this is to use just a regular fingernail file and go around the edges. And if you've used a napkin or some thin collage papers, this will work as well. Give you a good edge. Okay, let's go in and add a couple splatters before we do that, okay? I'm going to use my white paint and I'm going to use my black paint. I'm kind of pretty much stuck with this color inspiration, I think, throughout. So that was a good thing to have. And again, if you get any where you don't want the black, go in and pick it up with your wet wipe. And last, I'm going to do some gold. And we need to go around and darken the edges of our pages, and I'm going to use my Stays On Timber Brown. Now, it stays on as permanent. So if I decide that I'm going to do any more water media on here, it will not be activated. There we go. That little corner there. Okay, I think I'm going to go in with a little bit of black too, just a touch. Okay, and then last, we're going to use our gold. Just going to use my fingers. Go around the edges. All the treasure that we found. In our garden. Okay, can you see that? I believe that I am finished with my garden, and what I found within. Now, this is just a little corner of my garden. It's not my entire garden. You know, I have vast areas within, and you know, exploring it is going to take a lifetime for all of us to see what we hold within us, what treasures are deep within us, and what's important to us, and who we are at our deepest level. Naturally, there's a lot of symbolism in here, which I will look at and write about. And I hope that you follow along or replay this video when you find all your pieces that you want in your garden. And if you don't have a napkin, don't worry about it. You can just keep your handwriting up there, or write your journaling up there in that area. So far we have our garden wall and our door to the other side, and then I got a little bit of gold here on this side. That's okay. I'll just smooth that out. And here we went to a really light and bright and joyful, I believe, space within. The wise woman with the owl, the kind of shabby chair that I've been sitting on for many years now. And the butterflies are a symbol of transformation and rebirth of spring. There's a brain down here, which would symbolize all of the experiences that I've had and the knowledge and wisdom that I have gained throughout my life. I have my feather, which is one of the things I collect when I am out on a walk, and they have deep symbolism for me. I have these little tiny fairy figures representing my little girl who is always in my garden. She is the innocent part of me. She's always dancing and twirling and is very joyful. Then I have the skull over here representing Scorpio, which I am a Scorpio, sitting upon a pile of old books. And I read books, I make books. One of these days I'd love to write a book. And the flowers, of course, there's a starfish over here. That represents my number 5, and more butterflies, a nest here and a nest here. This one's full of eggs and a feather, and oh, this one's an empty nest. So there are things that flew away and are no longer present here in my life now, but maybe they'll return someday. Who knows? I'm sure I will encounter whatever or whoever it is again. The stamp is an Italian stamp, and my ancestry is part Italian, and I'm sure there's a lot more in here if I went through the meanings of the flowers and everything. So I hope you enjoyed this step in our journey of cracking open this year. And if you are new to my channel, I hope you'll give it a like and a thumbs up and subscribe. Ring that little bell icon if you would like to be notified when my next videos are available. Also, next week, what we'll be doing is kind of a self-portrait. So if you could find a picture of yourself, your face, that's about 2 inches tall. That'll work out really well. And if you don't want to do yourself, I suggest that you do. But if you don't want to do yourself, you can do somebody else, or just any picture that you find. So I'm going to say I'll see you again soon. Until next time, many blessings to you. Have a wonderful rest of the week. Bye for now.